Hi. So I thought the best way to introduce myself would be through a classic, meet the artist.
Okay.
So,
Dang!
so I started off this drawing in my sketchbook. I was going to record it, but I ended up losing the footage, so I just decided to go straight into the speed paint. So when drawing myself, I decided to go with a bit of a boring style. I usually, when I'm doing digital art, go a lot more for digital painting and do quite realistic stuff. Yeah, not gonna lie, I mostly draw K-pop boys. But for this, I just wanted to do basic line work and kind of do something more in my cartoony style. I tried to put a lot of personal elements into this drawing, kind of drawing my own outfits and accessories. This is actually the second time I've drawn this. Not only did my footage crash from this one, but I made a drawing originally before the sketch you're seeing now that I just wasn't happy with, so I decided to completely scrap it and redo it. For this channel, I kind of wanted to do a mix of digital and traditional art, which was why I originally wanted to start with me actually drawing in my sketchbook this sketch, but I ended up doing it without the footage. So I've been drawing for about 5 years now, and I started how pretty much everyone starts, I think, which is through fan art. My original fan arts were of Fairy Tale, which is something that I do not follow anymore, but I was really intensely into the fandom at the point where I started and just wanted to add to it, I guess. As with a lot of other people, I also went through that Tumblr phase, which I kind of eked out of about 2-3 years ago. As you'll see right here, Clip Studio decided to crash on me, so I had to start from scratch because the only save of this file I had was in a PNG rather than the actual Clip Studio file format, so it saved none of my layers. So here I am starting again from scratch, just using the line work that I had as a basis from the last line work I did. My style has changed a lot through the years, and I'm kind of glad that it hasn't stuck to the fairy tale style that I originally tried to go with.
Disgusting!
Now I think, especially since I've been doing a lot of realism lately, it's really come into its own. I think the more you see me draw, the more obvious it will be that a lot of my style is based around drawing with shapes, which is something I picked up and never really put down as an artist, and I really enjoy making shapes out of things. I was in two minds about this piece, whether to actually do a realistic portrait of myself, but ultimately kind of decided it would be a bit more fun to cartoonify myself like most other artists do when they do these kinds of things. I will also say that I do not go to an art school, nor do I have any formal qualifications in art. This is literally just a hobby for me, and my expertise lies in something completely different. My art is all self-taught, so that's why it's full of flaws, as you can probably tell from watching this right now. I think, as many people have, I've also picked up my art quite a lot during quarantine, as there is not much to do. Honestly, my life lately has just kind of been a blur of watching K-pop vines and drawing. Digital art has been something that I stopped doing about 3 years ago and just picked up again really recently because I purchased a new tablet due to my old one having a lot of problems and stopping me from actually wanting to draw. But I feel like I always had a lot of problems with line art and not being happy with the way my art looked because of this, which is probably one of the reasons I stopped drawing with it in the first place and picked up traditional art more heavily. Honestly, I've been really enjoying doing traditional art, and I've picked up a lot of skills from it, like painting. I literally never touched gouache or watercolour before I did all of that, so I'm grateful for the time that I stopped doing digital art, but I did miss it. So when I got the new tablet I'm using at the moment, I went back and tried to confront all the problems I had with digital art in the first place, mostly which was line work. I do have to say, with this piece, I am actually quite happy with how the line work turned out. I was a bit lazy in some places, but overall I think the level of detail really made it look a lot better than some of the pieces I've been doing lately. I think I definitely have quarantine to thank for the amount that I've picked up digital art lately. It's actually all thanks to the fact that my older brother has recently bought a tablet, and I was kind of missing doing digital art, seeing him doing it. At that time I really just wanted to do something new, so I decided on picking up digital painting and actually trying my best at digital painting. It was something I actually loved before, but I never really put a lot of effort into it just because I thought it took too much time and I'm a very lazy person. So at this point in the drawing I started to fill in the colours because I was happy with the line work. I decided not to put too much effort into the colours, honestly, because I have never really been happy with my cell shading, so I decided just to do flat colours for this. Although I'm still not completely comfortable with cell shading and I guess shading in general when it comes to things other than digital painting, it feels really satisfying coming back to doing digital art after so long and feeling the progress I've gained from all of the knowledge that I've picked up from doing traditional art for so long and watching a lot of traditional artists on YouTube. It's really the mix of watching all these drawings on YouTube and the boredom of quarantine that made me decide to start this and put some effort into doing something like a YouTube channel. I'm hoping to do a lot of varied content, not just digital and traditional art, but probably doing some clothing reformation and maybe bring a bit of my D&D into my art. If I redid this piece again, I would definitely change the colours that I used, just because looking back on it now, I can definitely see that the brown I've used for this hair especially is kind of too much of a green brown for the actual hair that I have, and I probably would have used colours that I'd already sampled. The problem that I usually have with colours is just due to the fact that there's a difference in colours between my tablet and my laptop, so oftentimes I am kind of just playing the chance card with which one is showing accurate colours. Though overall I will say that I'm pretty happy with this piece and how it turned out, especially since the fact that I hadn't done a lot of digital art again by the time I actually did this piece. Since then I've made a lot more digital paintings, which will probably come up on my channel at some point in the future. I will say that the one piece of clothing I don't actually own in this piece was the shoes. They kind of just came out of my head and I was gonna do whatever really. They're loosely based on some shoes that I actually own, but I kind of wanted to do something a bit fun and something that stuck out. You will probably see here that there is a section of my hair which I have not coloured in brown, and this is intentional and not accidental because I actually have a silver stripe in my hair which is kind of fading out now due to quarantine, not being able to go to the hairdressers, but at this point when I drew this it was very much seeable. As with every other drawing I do, I try to keep the colour palette pretty simple for this, trying to reuse the colours across the piece rather than having a lot of new colours and picking a new one for every item. Even though I use two different shades of black, I try to keep them in the same kind of spectrum to make it a bit more flowing. By this point in the drawing I had pretty much completely decided that I wasn't going to do any cell shading, so I'm now just finishing off the last few little bits, including this necklace, which was one that my friend gave me, and again pulling in both of those different blacks so the whole piece is a bit more harmonious. I will also mention that the colour of my eyes is a bit more grey than the blue put in here. But, you know, these things happen. I will also add that for the overshirt that I'm wearing on this, I do have one with a similar design, but I decided to kind of embellish a little bit and go for something that was a lot easier for me to draw, which you'll see in a minute. Also for this piece on the shirt, I decided to add a character that I've been drawing a lot lately. Any 80s fans out there will definitely know that this is Sheba. who I decided to turn into a real dog, and has now become kind of an important character for me. Honestly though, I would love to own this shirt in real life, so maybe something for a merch idea in the future. Now that the main piece is finished, we can move on to something a little more interesting, I guess, depending on what you think, which is me kind of explaining a bit more about my likes and dislikes, which you will see in a minute. I kind of get very slow with deciding what I actually like and dislike. I decided to add a peach colour, but for behind all of the writing parts that I did, just because it's my favourite colour, so I thought it would be appropriate to add. You can probably tell from these bits that I do not have the neatest handwriting, but I thought it would be a bit more authentic to go for my own handwriting rather than using something typed. I haven't actually done a Meet the Artist before, just because obviously I haven't been doing digital art for a while, so this was all new to me and I was very slow with deciding what I like and dislike. So first one, yeah, I don't think that needs to be explained. And then moving on, it took me a minute to realise I am actually an archaeologist, which is something that I have studied for 4 years in university. After that I went for K-pop, which is just my life right now, and K-dramas, which is how I started in this whole Korean stuff. Anime, obviously, I started drawing because of anime, and then I went for my PS4 because what is the better way to waste my time? Then I decided my plants, which are all my children, and my doggo, which I love a lot. It honestly took me so long to decide what I actually wanted to put in this like column that it was ridiculous, so I just threw in a couple of ones at the end, like reading and D&D, and even ended up adding some after I started my dislikes. Moving on to the dislike column, I started off with a classic, which is getting out of my bed. I am currently in my bed right now as well, so it is definitely one of my pet hates. Next, I decided to go for another important life issue, which you will see after I add a few quick things onto the end of my likes. I think this next dislike mostly refers to waiting for post, because I order a lot of stuff from Korea nowadays. And then the next, obviously, most important fact is the 80s concert being postponed, because I even had tickets bought for my birthday with my friend, and we're both very disappointed that this got postponed. Moving on, I started on the what's in my bag section, and I again was drawing blank when I started, so I just went with drawing my backpack, which, as you can see, is a mini Spider-Man backpack that I spent way too much money on and is made of vegan leather and all of that good stuff. I had a lot of fun just drawing this without any background sketch and just kind of going for it, because I hadn't really thought ahead enough of the fact that I would actually have to draw my bag and what's in it, even though I've seen tons of these Meet the Artists. But that says a lot about me, doesn't it? I decided to go with this bag even though I use others way more regularly, just because I love it so much, and that's probably why I put a lot of effort, well, reasonable amount of effort into actually drawing this and making it look how it does in real life. Next up, an obvious choice is my phone, because who these days can live without their phone? Could I be a millennial without loving my phone? The answer, I believe, is no. I have a OnePlus 7T Pro, which I carry with me everywhere. The next thing has to be my purse, because money makes the world go round, and so does having a purse that attaches to my belt. I then decided to add what I have on the back of my phone. It's just a plain phone case with a bunch of stickers on, but the most important part, obviously, is the photo card, which is of my favourite boy, Minhyuk, from Monster X. Because I am first and foremost a mom baby at heart. Then last, my headphones, which honestly I don't know why they'd be in my bag because I pretty much never take them off. And last but not least, after having a bit of a pause, again remembering what I actually own, I decided to put in my pill case. Though I will point out this is probably just when I actually remember it, because oftentimes I just leave it beside my bed and forget about it in the mornings. So with a few final touches left to go, this is pretty much my Meet the Artist completed. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the future with some more videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, and make sure you catch me on Instagram at Leochi Draws. Links are in the description.